Hello, hello. Cass is back with another channeled message of the day for you. I'm so excited to give you this message today from the Light Seers Tarot deck. We're going to pull some cards from this deck to grab some inspiration for, whatever we need to hear. We literally have the devil popping right out. So let's see what that is all about. Oh, okay. Interesting. One more. Beautiful. At the back. Awesome. Oh, okay. All right. So we have 4 cards plus the one at the back of the deck. So the first one to come out is the devil. Take a look here. The imagery, seeing this person, right? Just look at all that imagery. A beautiful devil. Okay. And then we had the 9 of Cups pop out and it like almost fell and I couldn't grab it. I'm just saying this as a symbol here. The 9 of Cups is all about wish fulfillment. And then we had the Strength card come out. You can see Lion and the Lamb, right? Number 8. And then we have the High Priestess that wanted to come out as well. Now, if you notice, her eyes are almost like they're open as well as closed. Because when your intuition, when you're really tapped in, you're closing your eyes, sometimes you can see even more clearly than when you have your eyes open. And then at the back of the deck, we have the 6 of Pentacles, all about reciprocation, giving and receiving. Pentacles energy is also earth energy, so that grounded, that abundance type of energy coming through with that. So thank you, Spirit, for these cards. Let's see what the message is that's coming through for you today with this. Okay, so some of you are allowing in certain areas of your life to hold yourself back from actually manifesting certain things, especially a certain type of love or feeling like you're being reciprocated with the love that you're given. And this represents the 9 of Cups, which is a wish fulfillment. It's also like your heart's fulfillment. It's like golden energy, golden era, right? It's like at the tip of your fingertips, but I couldn't really grab it. And so that's really representative of how the devil, or we'll just say the ego, has been impacting you as far as grasping your manifestations. Here's the thing, you've been super strong. You've been through a lot. You have kind of gone from this, I guess, sheepish energy of pulling yourself away or not saying exactly what you feel, especially when it comes to intimate relationships. There were certain things that you didn't say in the past that you wanted to, but now you're really gaining the strength to show yourself, to be yourself, that very much solar plexus, Leo energy of allowing, which is also the ego center, right? And so it's having that healthy ego center and allowing yourself to shine through as a human, because we talk about, you know, being so intuitive and really being in touch with our intuition, which is really beautiful. We want that to lead the way, but we also want to have a beautiful relationship with our ego rather than just suppressing it or not listening to it or thinking it's just so annoying for trying to infiltrate, especially when there's certain circumstances when you're like, is this my ego? Is this my intuition? This is all coming to a head, if you will. And so with the 6 of Pentacles, it's really beautiful because this energy is all about reciprocation, like I was saying. And when it comes to the love that you are given, I actually meant to say giving, but the love that you are given has reflected the ways in which your ego has been taking control. So there's been certain things in certain relationships that have come up for you that have annoyed you about someone else, that maybe you realized someone wasn't a match, or even if you're in a partnership, there's certain things that really bother you about this person. Spirit is calling you to really look at how this is a type of reciprocation. And when we're talking about the laws of the universe, which I've loved to talk about recently, the law of attraction and the law of cause and effect, or karma, like certain things like this, there's certain energies that you're holding within you that ultimately are just being reflected back to you in order for you to see where you have allowed your ego to get the best of you and where you maybe have a blind spot, which is okay. We all do. Like, we all have shadow aspects. We all have different parts of ourselves that we're not fully aware of, because this is the journey of life. This is Earth School, is becoming more and more aware and accepting our radical wholeness of all parts of ourselves, even the darkness. So for some of you, you've been pretending, I say that with a grain of salt, that you are a little bit more shiny than you actually are, that you're a little bit more of the light rather than actually showing some of that darkness, or like that dark feminine energy is what's coming through, especially with the devil and the high priestess. Like, there's certain parts of us that want to be played out, and if we don't allow them to play out authentically, it's going to come through the ego and it's not going to feel good, and you're going to see this in other people. For example, in a relationship, say like I'm a feminine woman, I'm in a relationship with a masculine man, and he isn't necessarily as in touch with his feminine. It causes me to be more in my masculine, and this could really play off of each other in ways that feels very uncomfortable, because here we go, the law of polarity. There's not as much balance. So there's not as much ease in giving and receiving in relationship if it were to be balanced. I'm also noticing for the very first time, I always love this because every time I look at these cards, I see something new. There's like a figure 8 here. So there's something that really is shifting in the physical here in these relationships for good. Whether you've transitioned out of a relationship, you're transitioning into a relationship, or you've been in a relationship and there's some sort of transition going on, there's a forever foundation that is being set, and it's all due to these self-realizations, and you really are tapping into your intuition a lot more. You might be feeling like you're wearing certain gemstones or certain emblems or symbols that represent your connection to the divine, and Spirit is saying this is something that can really be helpful for you. If you want to wear things that actually remind you of your power, remind you to tap into your intuition, I've already pointed out this kyanite ring. I also have selenite here, and that's a very cleansing energy. And then kyanite is for the throat chakra. And then I have tiger's eye as well. So we have all of these different stones that just in the physical, because again, like the Six of Pentacles is the physical, can remind us of who the F we are, right? And so especially as a feminine and really being in touch with the intuition, or I mean, really it doesn't, you don't have to be a feminine, but anyone being in touch with your intuition, it's very helpful in a relationship when you are in touch with your intuition. Because if one partner is and one partner is just completely not in touch at all with the inner truth of who they are, it's going to feel like there's a clash, and you're going to feel like you can't trust yourself, you can't trust that other person. There's just this kind of ripple effect of mistrust where it makes you feel like you really are having a hard time to trust your intuition. And in order to get through that relationship, you have to be strong and you have to fight through, which sometimes can cause a little bit of a rough edge or like a rough shell that is hard to break through, especially in a romantic relationship. So if you are looking to receive more of this divine love right at your heart center that is very authentic, you're really being called into your solar plexus energy, into your ego. A lot of times people will say, like, just tap into your intuition, tap into your intuition. But if your ego is trying to tell you something and we ignore it, our intuition can only do so much. And it's not that you have a blockage, but there's just this energy that is flowing in a way that maybe is slightly more stagnant when it comes to the solar plexus. So you're really being called to breathe into this area and even do a meditation with the sun. This is something I used to do a lot. Highly recommend it. You can keep your eyes closed or open, whatever you want to do. Morning or like sunset and sunrise are really great times to do this because you can actually sun gaze a little bit without hurting your eyes. But don't take any of that advice from me. You know what's best for your body. Bright sunshine day, you don't really want to be staring into the sun. We know that can like burn your corneas. But what I'm trying to say is with this meditation is close your eyes, connect in with your solar plexus right at the center of your rib cage. Face the sun. Even if you're inside, face the sun and imagine your solar plexus becoming the sun and connecting with the sun. And this is just a practice that you can do every day that will actually allow your solar plexus to help work for you rather than fight against the ego, because the ego is something that we just all have as humans. It's not anything that we want to get rid of or even transcend. It's something that allows us to be here in this physical on earth, to connect with other people physically. We love the ego. We want to love the ego. We want to befriend the ego rather than hush hush. No, I only want to be spiritual. That keeps us up in the feminine. And that can be like, I was just saying this in my private reading, which I have, by the way. If you want to book with me, I'll leave the links below. But if you're just kind of like all in your feminine energies and you're not grounded in your masculine, if your solar plexus is just like, boom, free for all, that's where when you walk into a room, people are like, oh my God, they're so egoic. Like there's something about them. You know what I mean? So you can have a healthy ego. You can have a healthy ego. You can have an ego and be a healthy person and be spiritual. In fact, you probably can't be as spiritual as you want to be if you're not connected down into those masculine centers, if you're not rooted, and if you're not allowing yourself to be one with your human, to be one with your personality and who you are out in the world. Like I'm just getting the first house energy, right? I'm getting like Leo energy. And so just to bring a little astrology into that, so you can look at your first house as well and maybe look at your chart there, and see maybe the shadow aspects of that, and like look into where you can really harness that energy for the positive, because this is all meant to work for us. Our ego is not meant to work against us. So you have been very strong, your intuition is very strong, and now it's just about merging the masculine, feminine together in order to give and receive in a way, you know, in order to give in a way that you want to receive, and to receive in a way that you want to give, and allow that to be like, now love languages is coming through, and also just having open communication and allowing yourself to actually express what it is that your heart desires. Because if we don't express that, then it's not going to be, you know, we can't just assume that people can read our minds, although there might be a little bit of a connection psychically with this person, this connection. We can't rely on that, because again, we do live in the 3D, and so we want to make sure that we express our needs and our wants and our desires, our heart's desires, not just like, you know, from the ego, like these egoic wants. Again, that's where the ego can be this negative influence. But when we're tapped in to this harmonious open channel, we're actually able to communicate in a way that is more effective for us to be able to receive the love that we so desire, and also for us to give the love that our partner desires as well. So I hope this message resonated with you today, and I hope that you are having a beautiful day, night, afternoon, whatever time it is, whenever you're watching this. If you want to work with me a little bit closer, a little bit deeper, I'll leave the links below, and I am sending you guys so much love. I'll see you guys tomorrow.